weekend, right?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
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 Hi. See you all. All right. Let me see. How's everybody doing? Good?
Very good, thank you.
Perfect. All right.
Vivian, can you move Sandeep to the breakout room, please?
Sandeep is, yeah. Let me give me a second here.
So you will see, I just saw Ramesh to go ahead and move Ramesh as well.
Yep, both are moved.
Yeah. So I think that's it. That's the team right there.
Perfect.
All right. Okay, team. So Vivian, if you don't mind, just give you an introduction here. So team, Vivian is going to take over the class today. She's going to talk about Canva. So we actually use Canva to create images. It's bright and sunny here. Sun is right in my face. Okay. So Canva is a software used to create images. And I always say this to Vivian, it's like, if I can create images, brand images, anybody can, because I'm like terrible at graphics and all that. So super easy to use Canva, literally just drag and drop. So you can actually create some social media, images for social media posts. I really like that short videos that, that you're able to create on Canva as well. Super good. Okay. For me, it takes like a minute or so, right? Anyway, so I kind of wanted to introduce you to Vivian. Vivian's going to take over Canva. And if you have any questions, and I'll be on the call for next 10 minutes, feel free to ask me questions about the work that you've been doing so far.
All right, let me get started here. First of all, you all started working with Hootsuite, right? So how is that going? Does anybody have any questions concerning posts, concerning Hootsuite? All pretty clear?
It's clear, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right, so what I will be starting, if I will take lessons, I will be usually going over Hootsuite and checking all the posts. So since this week we are just testing still, right? We are still, we're still having or using our content, which is already created. I won't do this week, but starting next week, I'm actually going to go over every single team and we'll check if everybody did their work and how the content is. We will actually review it. We will get feedback and stuff. So super important right here. All right. So let me get started here. As Paul mentioned, we are going to cover Canva today. And I want to give you an example or basically an introduction to our brand as well, so you actually know how we create graphics and images, what is important, what we should actually, what kind of guidelines we actually should provide, right? So let me just share my screen right here. Let me know if you can see it. Does that work? All right, so these are the brand guidelines for our brand, International Institute of Digital Marketing. Okay, so let me go over here. So you all know we are a certifying body based in Texas, right? So we have experience in business marketing and much more. So this is basically our mission statement, what we have for the business, right? So you could actually, you find this as well on our website. So you can actually go ahead and use this for specific brand posts as well, right? So you can do this. We are here, we want to basically provide digital skills for all, right? So this is one of our taglines, basically. And what we want to achieve with our business or our brand is basically, we want to make digital marketing or digital skills available for everybody, for every individual, right? So we are, we love to share our, our knowledge. We want to share the skills That's why we created this internships as well. So this is one of our main missions here. So I think you all saw as well that we have this learning leaf. This is basically providing our 5 main courses or main certification tracks we have. So one is the licensed digital marketing master. We have licensed digital marketing specialist. We have one marketing expert, marketing professional, and a search engine marketing professional. So if you go to our Google Drive, you will actually find all these sub-certificates here as well, right? So you can actually use them. You can actually go on our website, find more information about them. If you want to create product posts or informational posts about them, you can actually find lots of information on our website as well. Okay. All right. So first, I want to really emphasize that the importance of our logos. Okay, so logos is basically our representation of our brand, right? So we want to make sure this is actually created well and consistent as well. So let me just show you an example. So this is one of our logos we have, right? I know some of you are actually having different teams like Aleph, but we are pretty new to this International Institute of Digital Marketing. In terms of, because we changed the brand name and everything. So I just want to make sure this is actually clear for everybody as well. Okay, so since we have lots of people all over the world, right? We are international. That's why we actually have this name, which represents our company very well as well. Okay, so we have variations, right? We have the round logo, we have this logo as well, which you can also find in the Google Drives. Okay, so you have them. And then what you don't want to do. So this is important for every single logo. Okay, so also for Aleph teams, we have here, you never want to change any of the logos. Okay, you don't want to change the color, you don't want to make it transparent, you don't want to use bad quality, and you don't want to distort. So you don't want to like form them in kind of weird ways, right? We want to make sure our logo is actually well presented and clear, visible to see. Okay, so we want to make sure this is consistent within our brand as well, because this is our online presence, right? We don't want to people to get confused, basically. All right. So we have certain colors as well, which we use mostly for our images as well. So this is not something you are just strictly allowed to use. You can definitely use other colors as well. But we always want to have some sort of brand colors within our graphics, within our images as well. So what you can do, basically, I will show you the place actually where you can find where you can plug in those color codes, right? So we have different colors. This blue, for example, we have this turquoise, this reddish gray, sorry, and then again something turquoise. So these codes you can actually use on Canva to get the exact same color available. Okay, I'm going to show you this in just a second once we move to Canva. So super important here, if you want to stay within our brand colors, it will be very, very consistent to our brand, right? It's very, you have a lot of opportunities to work with those ones on Canva as well. All right, so if we talk about our trademarks, so trademarks are really important when it comes to SEO. Okay, so this is how we actually get some traffic on SEO as well. So we want to make sure we always involve those trademarks behind all those, behind our name, basically. Okay, so whenever you use International Institute of Digital Marketing, you want to make sure you attach the TM on the side, on right next to it, and it has to be the symbol. Okay, you cannot just write unless the platform doesn't allow it, right? But in most cases, you want to have the symbol right here. Which you can use for the trademarks as well. Right, so things to consider. Basically everything when you create posts, the most important 3 things are, or does anybody know what's the most important aspects when you create a post? What's important to the end user when they actually see your posts? What should be involved all the time? You can just unmute yourself and go ahead.
The quality of picture.
Yeah. Good point. Readability, yeah, right. Super important.
I think that the information should be relevant, so it shouldn't necessarily beat around the bush to what you're trying to say.
Right. Yep. Very good point here.
Presentation.
Presentation, yeah. Yeah, so super good points right here, and they all are super important equally as well, right?
The tone.
The tone?
Yeah, the tone you are trying to communicate with your
Great.
customers.
So more like brand language, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, not that all the time quite formal, but the way you are trying to transmit your message, it has to be a tone, the right tone, exactly the way you want to talk about your product or service.
Yeah. Good. I think you all mentioned very good points right here. So when it comes to like creating content, it's always very good to have like Joshua was mentioning as well, relevant content. We want engaging content, and we want to have some content which is also positive, uplifting, right? We don't want to have like content which is really negative, which brings the end user in a bad mood or something, right? We want to be like positive. We want to have our brand or represent our brand in a good light as well, right? So, and to do that, we actually need all those points you actually mentioned, right? So we need readability, we need a good image, right? We need maybe something eye-catching as well, just to get the attention, right? So here again, we mentioned font colors, we mentioned font size when it comes to readability as well, right? So you want to make sure if you mix up some fonts, you don't want to overwhelm the eye of the end user, okay? So super important point right here as well. You want to keep some sort of harmony within your picture or image video, right? So it could be, it's like easy on the eye. All right, so talking about using our logo, right? It could be online and in print as well. So these are just two options you have. Photography, right? So if you use images, make sure they are like put nicely, right? We don't want to distort this ones as well, and we want to make sure we have actually images which we can use legally, right? So there are some sort of stock websites where you can actually get good images and videos which you can actually use without any violating the copyrights, right? So you want to make sure you don't just go on Google and use any picture there or image there, because they most of the time have copyrights. There is of course an option where you can actually exclude those and then just have the copyrights, the copyright ones without copyright, available. So you can actually go ahead and take those ones, but you always want to make sure we don't want to get into trouble, right? So if we use something, this could actually cost us a lot of money. If we have, for example, a big company which are like actually going against us in this term, so we want to make sure we actually use stock photo websites, which I can show you in a second here as well. So one of the ones which I use a lot is called pexels.com. I'm going to send it in the chat so you actually have it. So this is one of the main ones I use. Of course, there are lots of other ones as well. They are very similar as well, but I find like Pexels has lots of options, which is really good, which you can use, of course. And I just show you an example here. If you write down, for example, digital marketing, you would actually see very relating images to digital marketing, right? So you would just scroll down, you will see whatever works with you and with your post, and you can actually choose and go ahead and create something on Canva, for example. Okay, let me move on here. And then just main contact information about us, right? So this is just an example. This, of course, goes for every single brand. I know we have Aleph here, we have IIDM here, right? So this is just an example, but this is like basic things you actually have to, or basic like guidelines, which is made for every single brand out there. So if you have your own client in about maybe 3 months from now, you would actually have to follow the same guidelines. It's just very simple, very straightforward, right? So we want to make sure you do basically your work right and legal. Okay. Does anybody have any questions to this slide here? It's pretty clear, isn't it? Okay. So let me go ahead to Canva. So let's start our Canva session, okay? Anybody worked with Canva before, or is it the first?
Viviane.
Yeah, Fabiola.
Sorry, will you be sending to us this presentation? Oh, no.
I will upload it to the drive, so you will actually have access to it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So it will be on the main Google Drive, so you can find it and you can actually see the guidelines over there as well. Sounds good?
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Who worked with Canva before? Anybody?
Yeah, I used it to write up my CV, actually.
Oh, I see. Good. Nice. Elena, I saw you too.
Yeah, I also use it for my CV.
Interesting. I've never done that. Anybody for images or videos? Karen, me too. I have Kinza. Okay. Basu for infographics. Cool. Presentation, I see. Nice. Posters. Yeah.
I have used it for Instagram to use, like, I don't know, to promote different things from a charity.
Okay. Nice. So you see, like, Canva has actually a huge variety when it comes to like what you can create, right? That's why Canva is actually so powerful, because it actually has so many options to choose from. And yeah, it just gives you all, and if you have the pro version, of course, it will give you actually stock images and everything as well, which you can use. It will give you the whole lot. Posters, okay, I see Vani. Good, all right, so let's start here. So I know this, if you're familiar with Canva, this will be like more like repetitive for you, but we have some newbies here as well, so I'm just gonna go ahead and explain everything from scratch. Let me just drink a sip here. All right, let's get started here. So basically, this is the website you have to go to. It's canva.com. This will be the main website. You will see this will be also the first page which will come up. Once you created your account, this will be the dashboard you're actually going to visit. And the first thing you want to do is here, I would go with create a design. So you see this big button right here. You would press on it, and then it actually gives you the option to search, okay? So in our cases, we work a lot with LinkedIn, we work with Facebook, Instagram, right? So let's go ahead and search for a specific post which we want to create, because Canva gives us actually the custom size of the images of the video you want to create. So let's go ahead here. We can choose for LinkedIn, and it will give us a lot of options when it comes to LinkedIn, right? So we have LinkedIn banner, LinkedIn post, sponsored content, story, video ad. Same with Facebook. If we do the same here, Canva is actually smart enough to give us everything, serves us everything on a plate, basically. So we have Facebook, right? Let's go Instagram. So you'll see you can basically create everything. Okay, so let's today go for a LinkedIn post, just to keep it simple, because all teams are working with LinkedIn as well. So let's go ahead here. Just 2 sections right here to mention as well. You can customize your size as well. So if you have a specific dimensions you want to work with, you can actually plug them in here. Okay, so width, height, and then you can put in the pixel or any other metrics you want. And what you can do is as well, if you have an image, let's say you take one of those images here, images here, you can actually edit the photo. So it will actually fit the form of the, or the dimensions of the photo you are trying to edit here. So this is something you can do as well. So you would choose any image here, and then it will actually take the same dimension from it. All right, but today we go with LinkedIn post. Okay, so what's gonna happen is Canva actually gives you the dimension in this white square right here. Okay, I think you can all see that. These are the dimensions you chose from in the section beforehand. And then just covering this the interface here, right? So we have the home button right here, we have files, resize. There's where you can share it, where you can download it. And then the most important or most fun part, the creative part, is on the left-hand side. Okay, so this is the whole menu you have. And you see by default, it's actually templates is the first thing which comes up as a default. Okay, so templates, what are templates, right? We want to know what templates actually means, right? So templates is basically posts pre-created for you. Okay, so you see you have lots of content right here. And if we would go ahead and click on one of them, it will actually appear on your screen right here. Okay, so whatever you want to choose, you just click on it and it will actually appear on this screen right here. Okay, so you see this is a template. Template means there are some, like I mentioned, it's pre-created, and there are some sort of elements already inside these templates. Okay, so there are elements or components in block forms, right, which are like objects. We have elements which are like text elements, right? So this is another part, and they have lots of other ones as well. So this is an element as well, because this is the video, right? This is a whole element as well. So basically they are giving you pre-created content with different components inside already, which you can of course edit as well. So you see with every component I choose, this edit part right here is actually giving you specific elements to edit as well. Okay, so in this case we have a video, right? It gives us the scissor right here, which means you can trim it, which you can do with those two colorful sides right here. Okay, so you could actually trim it. What else can we do with the video? We can crop it. Okay, we can choose what we actually want to show inside the video. So let's leave it here because it's the main focus, right? We can flip it, also vertically, which doesn't make sense in this case. And we can add some animations, which could be like this, which could be different ones right here. Okay. So whatever component we click on, whichever component we select, it will give us a different option to edit it. Okay. So again, here we have this component, which is like an object component. It will actually give us the option to select a different color. Okay, so we can go ahead here. We can plug in any of those colors. But remember, we had also our brand colors, right? So let me get this back here, just to show you an example how this would work. Of course, here you cannot copy it, but let me just take this on the side. So if you would plug in the code right here, which is the color code, right? You would actually see the exact color we actually need for our brand. This brings some brand consistency, right? This brings some, helps us with our consistency in branding as well. Okay, so we have some of our color here, which we can edit. And then we have this component, which is the text component. Okay, so text component, you will see a whole other options to actually select and to edit it. So of course, if we talk about font, we have those all those fonts here, right? So you can test them, you can see which is actually better for this particular post, right? Let's check this out like this actually. It's like sleek. Then we have a size, right? We can make it smaller. We can be very specific here as well. Let's say we want to have 71 as a size. So you can actually plug in any size right here. We can play with colors as well, right? If we want to put some more colors inside this post, you can go ahead, right? It gives us a lot of option here. Then you can make it bold or not, right? So this is the bold one, which doesn't work for every single font, but in this case it worked. Then we have cursive. Well, cursive, we can underline it, right? We can make it capital letters or leave them small. We can align the whole text section. Okay, so it could be left, right, center. We can play with different kinds of lists, right? So they have numbers, they have bullet points, which you can play with as well. This is more like for maybe educational posts, right? Informational posts. Yeah, and then we can play with letter spacing. Okay, so you see how close and how far they go. This is something you can play with as well. If you want to have like a, if for example you have a short and clear message, and you want this to be like more spread out, you can actually use this, which can be very powerful in some cases as well. But again, it has to be still readable, right? Line height, right? So you can put them closer together if you have more lines involved. So you have lots of option right there. So then we have effects. Effects give us different kind of shadows or yeah, different kind of styles basically. They have curve too, which is very hard to read in most cases. Okay, so you want to be careful there. If you want to use this, most cases you want to use like the shadow part, which is like gives some extra effect. Shadow or lift. I like those two the most. But again, you can be very creative, right? We don't want to tell you what you can and what you cannot do. There are some guidelines, of course, but we want to give you the freedom of creativity as well. Okay, let me move this here. Okay, so we have the effects. You can ungroup if you have like different different sections right here. You can ungroup them or you can group them again. Position, right? So you can position different elements differently. So let's say you see how this is in front of this object. So this is called layers. Okay, so layers is super important. You want to know that as well. So if I, for example, select the text part, I can put the position backwards and you see it's going behind this object. Okay, just because I changed the position right here. If I want it to be forward again, I would choose this. Okay, it depends on what item you actually select. So if I want this forward, right, this is in front of it. So it's pretty straightforward here as well. And then another really great point here is transparency. So if you want, for example, this object to be more transparent, you see there is some transparency involved already. But if you want to have it like super transparent, just like a slight effect on the whole image, you can play with the transparency here as well. Okay. All right. So this is basically all when it comes to like templates. But now we want to actually create. Does anybody have any questions when it comes to templates before I move on? Sure. Any questions?
Sorry, I have a question with regards to the font that you're using. Do you guys have a specific font that you prefer, like that you normally use in your on your posts and stuff? Or is it kind of like whatever font looks good? Just asking.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. So font-wise, we have like a font which we use in particular for some images, but again, I wouldn't say it's like mandatory. So this is basically our brand font, which looks like this. But yeah, I would tell you also to be careful here, because if you have too much of a text, I feel like it gets really too much as well, because this font is actually, you know, it can be harder to read in some cases as well. If you have a short, clear message, it definitely makes sense. Okay, so you can actually do this, but again, I wouldn't say font is, I think, the least you should worry about when it comes to the branding, to be consistent with our branding. Just give me a second here. Okay. Okay, let me move on here. So, all right, so no questions when it comes, other questions when it comes to templates? It's actually the fastest way you can create images, because it's everything is basically created for you beforehand. It's just a matter of editing more in our brand consistency, basically. Okay. All right, let me start from the beginning here. So here, just the 3 points to mention here as well. You can add notes if you work in a team, if you want to like check colors or something. You can basically send comments here or save comments here. You can duplicate the whole page, so which is an exact copy of what you just created on the upper hand page right here. You can delete pages, right? And you can add a new page, which will be a blank page. This is what I'm going to do now, because I'm going to delete this, and then I have just a blank page right here. All right. Good. No questions. Let me check the chat here. If you have any questions, of course, you can always unmute yourself or raise your hand so I can see it. Are we going to be using the free version or paid? So we have, and we will provide you the pro version. So you actually have insights in all the pro functions as well. Yeah, of course, for your own, if you want to create something for your own in the future, you can pay for the pro version, which is, I think, I think around like $10 per month. I see. Let me see. But you can of course, the free version has lots of things to offer as well. Like me personally, beforehand, I was just going with the free version. Yeah, something you want to think about if you're just starting out. You know, you want to keep your expenses low, so I would consider going with a free version for now, because you have lots of stock images as well to find online, right? So this is just one point. Good. And they have free trials as well, so you can be a bit clever there as well. Okay, I didn't say anything though. So let me move on here. So you see the second option here is uploads, right? So uploads basically is just everything you want to upload to the Canva. Okay, so you see I uploaded a lots of certificates already. This is the certificates I was talking about beforehand, which you can actually find in the Google Drive as well. Okay, so you can just, by clicking on it, you can actually put in the certificates, right? Really simple. Okay, so this is something you can do. Of course, if you find a nice stock image, you can plug it in as well. If you have any sort of videos, you can do the same here, right? So you can upload the videos. You can also upload audios. Okay, so audios could be would be a nice idea when you create podcasts, for example, which will be one exercise or one task we will also have in a couple of weeks with you guys, where you actually have to plug in some audios as well. So you get familiar with this one as well. Okay, so for today, I want to show you how to create an image from scratch. I will take the IIDM as an example. So I actually have some images here, right, which I can use. But you can, of course, go to photos as well. And you will find so many photos here as well, especially because we have the pro version. You can actually choose all of them. So I just want to give you an example here as well. there are some, can't find any now, but there are some, you see this pro icon right here. So these are the icons which you actually have to pay for if you don't have the pro version. And then they have other ones which are free, which I don't see right now because we have the pro version. But in some cases they have this icon with the free button as well, which you can use. So here Canva makes it very easy for us again, right? It's really, really super user-friendly because it gives you everything you need, right? So let's go again and say digital marketing. And then it will give you lots of images, right? So some of them are really similar to what you find on the stock image pages. But again, Canva has a lot to offer as well. So you see here the same image here, right? So they use a lot of the stock image website as well. All right, so let me go ahead and choose one image from here so I can show you an example. Again, if you don't find anything, just search for something else. Let's say social media, and they give you different options here. Okay, so today I will keep it, of course, very basic so everybody can follow. Let me just go to uploads because I know we had some images there. So let me choose this one from here. So if you click on it, it will come to the screen again, right? And what you can do if you want to fit it to the size of your dimensions, you can actually go ahead and right click on your mouse and set it as a background. This is what you can do with videos as well. So it actually creates this perfect dimensions for you. If you double click on the image, you can actually drag and drop it. So whatever is more relevant, I would keep it along this side. So in this case, I would keep it this way, just to have like the main focus of the laptop, right? Some boards right here and the main person in focus as well, right? Okay, so again, if I click on here, we can play with different kinds of features right here, right? We can play with filters if we want to, which most of the time destroys the image, I would say, especially if we have like person involved, right? I would be careful with this. So you don't want to actually destroy the picture, right? The image. You can adjust it. So we have brightness, contrast, right? Saturation, tint, blur, vignette if you want to. So this is something you can play with as well if you would like to. I usually don't use it, especially when I have people involved. You can crop the image, right? In this case, we don't really need it. You can flip it again, right? We had this before. And once you have different elements, you can actually animate it as well. In this case, we don't have any elements to animate, so we just keep it this way. All right, good. What do we need when we create an image? What are some things you would involve, or which would you include in this image? If this is, for example, a brand post. Anybody? Logo, yes, super important, right? So logo. Where can we find our logos? We have the Google Drive where our logos are in. But again, I have some uploaded here already. So let me use this one, for example. So it's in the upload section, right? And we have the logo right here. So you can, of course, you can play with the size, but again, it has to be visible. Our name still has to be readable, right? So this would be probably the smallest one I would use. But again, it can be, as long as it's visible, you can use it. And then let me see where I can put it. So this is how I work a lot of times. I will always like test different ways, right? Where it actually makes sense. Does it make sense in the center? Not really, because of a face, right? It depends from image to image, right? So in our case, in this case here, I would actually go ahead and plug it in here. Just because I have space here, right? It's not like hiding anything. If you see it's too close to the border, and sometimes Canva doesn't give you the option to be more like detailed, what I do is I select the option, select the element, and I use my keyboard to actually move it up, down, left, right. So this is another tip right here. just to be more precise in where you want to place your elements. Okay, let's leave it here. What else is missing? What do we need? What would you include?
Tagline.
Come again?
Tagline.
Tagline, sure. Yeah, we can use a tagline. We can use some text, right? You see text again, yeah. So what we can do is, you see on the left-hand side, it gives you the text option. So you can actually do that. We can use the specific font of ours, which are plugged in here already to all of your pro accounts. Okay, so you will get access from us after this session. And then what you see here as well, you see the recently used ones and you see font combinations. So font combination can be very nice to use as well, right? You want to make sure you don't, you still want to be relevant and to make it be professional, because our brand is professional. Of course, if you have like if you are working for a toy, kids toys or something, for a client which sells kids toys, you can of course go with any of those as well. You can be creative here. But for us, we are more like professional, we are an institute. So I would actually go with more like simple ones, okay? So as you can see here, they have some combinations which are actually really nice, which can be very good to use. And here again, you can see they actually match together. So basically Canva does the work for you. It's like the templates, right? They pre-created something for you, which actually works. So let's take this in just for an example. All right, so we have two different fonts here which match really well together. And what can we put in the text? What would you put here? What would be relevant to this image, to our brand, and what would represent us? Anybody?
I think so. If you're trying to advertise digital like online digital marketing courses, I think like a cool catch line or something that would grab the reader's attention. So if they're looking for online courses, then maybe asking a question that they've been asking themselves. I guess they're finding something that would just grab their attention in text to make them want to find out more.
Yeah. Where could you find this information if you search for something specific?
I would say probably on your website.
Yep. Yep.
Finding the information there.
Yep. Perfect. So this is the part where you should not like overthink too much what you should put as a text or something, because we have lots of information on our website. So as Joshua was mentioning, the website is the way to go. It saves you time, first of all. It keeps our brand language, and it's created by professionals, right? So we actually have a sales team who creates this website, who chooses specific words instead of other ones, just to bring the message across, right? So you will find lots of information here, right? So what we can use. Okay, so here, for example, we have sentences which are not too long, right? So let's say strengthen ourselves through consistent training and hard work. Why not, right? It works with our brand. It works with the image, so we can actually go ahead and plug this in, which is just a matter of seconds actually to bring it inside here. All right, so let me get rid of the list. And just to make it a bit shorter, let's keep it this way. All right, so we have a text. Let's see what we can edit with the text. So again, we can choose different fonts if we want to, but we have a nice font right here. We can choose different sizes. I would keep it this way. And you can choose the color as well, right? So this would be probably too dark. This would be still hard to see, right? This would be too dark as well. This is not too bad. What do you guys think? This one or white? I think white is easier to see, especially, right? Okay, so let's keep it somewhere along these lines here. Good. All right. So what else could we put here instead of, so we have the text, right? We have a message. What can we put in this section, for example? Call to action. Okay, Alejandra, right?
Yeah.
What is a call to action?
is something that make the whoever is seeing the image to do something, or to reply, or to visit the website, or to tag someone else. Yeah, maybe can go visit our website in this case.
Yeah, that's a good one. So you could say visit our website. So again, like Alejandra was mentioning, a call to action is something you want them to click on, or to basically visit, or to go to, if they want to learn more about the specific product, service, or whatever you're actually promoting. Okay, so let's copy our website link and let's put it in here. So I would get rid of the HTTPS just because it doesn't look that nice. I would get rid of this as well, just to keep it more simple, right? Yeah. So let's see what we can do. It's not that visible, so I would see if I can actually plug in another color here. Yeah, in a lot of cases, if it's not visible enough, we could actually go ahead on the left-hand side again. We go to elements. So elements gives you so many options, okay? They have animations, which is like something like this, or this, stickers. They have lines we can use, right? So we can plug in some lines if we want to separate something or bring some other shape inside the graphic. We have some shapes right here, okay? So which are, it could be squares, it could be round ones, right? It could be different forms right here. So in this case, if I see a lot of times you will have this, you will actually see that it's not super clear for the end user, I would actually go ahead and just use one of the objects, okay? So what I do is I just click on it, it comes right here, right? And then I would size it to the specific size I will actually need it to. So I can bring it right here, right? So you see it's like super visible right now, right? So you want to make sure it has this visibility. And then again, you can click on this object and you can change the color. It could be this color, or this one, or you can choose any other color, right? But I will keep it within the brand colors right now. And then you see it's coming out really strong, right? Maybe too strong for the end user's eye. So what I would do is I would actually play with the transparency right here. And I would just make it more, bring some more harmony inside the image, more like less strong to the eye, right? I would just keep it like, it looks very professional as well, just to have it some transparency involved. And you see it's like coming out way stronger. It's so the message comes out way stronger. You see it's more visible, right? And you have everything you need. All right, so again, most important, you want to have an image, right? You want to have a logo involved at all times. So let's say I would promote one of those certificates as well, right? You still want to make sure you have the logo somehow involved too. Okay, so we have two different logos. So if it's too much round right here, of course you can go ahead, you can change this to this, and then you have some sort of different forms right here, right? So you actually it doesn't look too one way. It looks like better. Let's see this. It doesn't look bad, eh? So you have already, this would be like one image which we created together. if I wouldn't talk so much, we would create this in like 5 minutes, right? So it's very simple. Again, I keep it very basic here just because we have some newbies here, right? And that's fine. We are all learning together, right? It's not, everybody starts somewhere. Everybody starts with one step first. So we go with this, okay? So does anybody have any questions on Canva in general right now? I will go over the last menu items right here as well, so we cover everything. But for now, do you have any questions?
The link that you put into the text, is that clickable? Like if you post that, will people like be able to click on that link, or is that something they found in like the comment section? Just asking.
Yeah, so you won't be able to actually, sorry, yeah, you won't be able to actually click on it. Yeah, unfortunately, that would be actually great. But again, we want to make sure if we create content, like I told you last time, if you go on Hootsuite, you actually want to keep it in the caption as well, so it's actually clickable for them as well. But you know, sometimes if you see something like visually, sometimes it sticks more in your brain, right? So sometimes if you have the link right here, it could maybe be more, they could remember it better because some people are more visual, right? Or some people actually like to read it. So if they would see this first, if they don't feel like reading the caption, maybe they remember at least the website, right? Which is pretty long to remember, but again, it all comes down to every person is different, right? And everybody keeps attention to different things. So it's important to diversify this call to action as well in terms of keeping it in the caption section and also in the image. Yeah. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Those images available on Canva, can we use like with no problem? Or should we should go to pixels, I don't know, to take an image and then upload on Canvas, or can I use those images available on Canvas?
Yeah, everything what is on Canva you can use without any worries. So you can actually go ahead and take every single image. Okay. That's no problem.
Thank you.
Just when it comes to internet, you know, when you just go to Google and search an image, then it's going to be like you have to make your research first and you have to double check it so we don't get into trouble. Yeah, but Canvas is a safe space.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Quick question. So we have to add the logo like 2 times?
So you would include only one logo. Let me just see. Let me just show you. Okay, so we have those 2 logos, right? So this is one logo we have, and this is the second logo. Everything other than those 2 are certificates. These are not our logos. These are courses which you can actually visit on our website.
Okay,
yeah. I'll show you again, just so you see. So these are all certificates, which are not our logos. Okay, so I know it can be confusing in the beginning. So that's actually a good point that you mentioned, Camilla. So these are certificates. These are courses we actually promote. Yeah. So you want to make sure you have one of those 2 here.
Okay.
And if you are thinking to promote or promote a certain course, you would actually have to take one of those 2 and then the course as well. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Numa, this will be, this is recorded, so I will actually share the link after the session, once it's ready. Any other questions? Okay, let me go ahead and explain you more on the, yeah, Virgie?
Are we going to post these pictures, these images that we're creating this week? Is this what we're posting?
From next week, Monday on. You start, so basically this week, it's all about creating those images. Okay, so you still schedule our organic content, right? Which we showed you in in the Google Drive. So this is what you will do just to get basically training on Hootsuite. But this week as well, you want to focus, you want to create your own images like I just did today. And then from next week on, we're gonna schedule those ones instead of the ones we provided you beforehand.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Is that clear for everybody? So from next week on, it will be your own created content.
Every image that we are creating, do we put it in Google Drive or do we keep it to ourselves?
Yes, so everything you created, you will actually upload to your personal folder on Google Drive. Yeah, we need a specific number by the end of the internship, which will be, yeah, you will basically create 3 images per week, right? For the day you will be scheduling the post. So by the end of the internship, let's say 12 weeks internship, 3 posts per week, we have a total number of 36 posts. If we don't see it on your personal drive, there must be something wrong, right? So you didn't do your work or something happened, right? So we have to actually make sure this is a way for us to double check on how far you actually took this serious. And yeah, this is a way for us to give you the certificates as well.
But if we create more images, can we put it there? Like sometimes you create 5, but you only put up 3 of them. Is
Sure.
that, yeah, perfect. Thank you.
I love the extra mile, so go ahead. Okay. Good. All right, let me move on here to the other sections right here, and then we can have some more time for questions after that. Okay, so elements, I went over this, right? So there are different kinds of elements you can use. For example, charts as well, if you want to like display something, you know, if you would like to do that. We have grids as well. So grids will give you the option to include an image inside your image. So let me just show you an example. So we have this grid right here. If I would go to photos and I would just take one of those, it would actually be inside the image. So you have like image in an image. Okay, so this is one option. And then many more, which is not really relevant to our brand. But again, if you have a client which is like more into this sort of things, you can actually go ahead, right? All right, styles. I never really work with it, but it basically shows you the brand colors and everything. Is your basically the whole brand kit, but you don't really have to worry about it. Audios, so it gives you the option to choose some audios here as well. So these are, again, these are free to use. You can, I mean, if you have the pro version, you can use all of them. So these are safe to use. That's what I meant to say. So you can actually go ahead and use any of those. So let me just see. Let me just share my sound right here. There you go. So I don't like this one, but let me just choose another one. Travel, it must be good. Okay, not really, but you know, you get the point right here, right? So it could be, if you choose it, if you click on this one, you will see the audio actually coming up down below here, and then you have the option to choose a specific a section of the sound, right? So you can go ahead here. This is so bad. Okay, let me stop. Okay, so you get the point, right? So you can say search the section right here, and then you can play with the volume here as well. So if you don't want it too loud, like it just was, you can actually go ahead and reduce the sound here as well. Wow, this is really bad. Okay, let me move on here. Okay, let me delete this, okay? But you get the point here. So audios, you have some pre-audios basically uploaded here, but again, you can upload them in the upload section if you have like something, if you have like audios, or if you create your own audios, even better, right? You can actually go ahead here. I know a lot of people, you know, you can just go ahead and upload if you have something here. Again, if we create, for example, podcast at some point in a couple of weeks, by the end of the content marketing certificate, you will actually create your own podcast where you actually have to say, like, you have a script and then you just record yourself, and then it basically one option you have here with the audios where you upload your specific audio to your video. Okay, but this is something we're gonna cover in a couple of weeks from now only. All right, so let me move on here. Then we have videos. Okay, so what I can do with the images is the same way as for the videos as well. So if I go here, let me go again, social media. Okay, so if I would delete this image, I could just plug in, for example, one of those. I would click right click and set the video. Again, this has to be all moved, right, depending on what you use. And you see this would be the video. So it's basically the same steps. What you have with photos is the same for videos as well. Yeah. Then you have backgrounds. So backgrounds is really nice if you create, for example, inspirational quotes. Bridget, is that another question or is it just from before?
Oh, it's from before. Sorry, let me remove.
Okay, that's good. I was just wondering. So we have backgrounds here, right? So it could be for inspirational quotes, but like I mentioned, it could be very nice if you want to create something. So if you create a background, it will be automatically set to your dimensions. Okay, so the background will be always the whole background. So you can be, you can create some sort of inspirational quotes right here, which we will be focusing on 1 week as well, right? As I think you saw it in the content planner. So you can be, you can choose again different kind of fonts, right? Different kind of colors. You get the point. So let's say here. You get the point here, right? So it can be basically anything. It's really nice. It's they have nice like plain ones, where you don't have to think about much, where you just can just plug them in, and they look very professional as well. That's what I like about them. Right? Make sure to put the logo, and that's it. And then we have folders, which you don't have to really worry about. It's just the folders inside the Canva, and that's basically it. Okay, so it's really straightforward. I think it's really user-friendly Canva. It provides you with everything you need. So of course it's not comparable to Photoshop and everything, right? So we are aware of this, but we will have actually a Photoshop lesson as well if you want to go more professional into like content creation, right? It's not a must, but again, like they have free trials where you can get familiar with the platforms as well, and you can use them as well. But Canva, like I mentioned, like most of our interns and throughout the whole internship are using Canva just because it's very simple, easy to use, and just super user-friendly. Especially for beginners, it's like super nice. And then if you get to know the platform more, you will see different things you can actually do. Okay, so you keep it simple now, but if you are more advanced, of course, go ahead, explore more. This is like comes all down to creativity, and we want to give you really the space of creativity because every person is different, right? Every person, every perspective is different as well. So it doesn't mean just because I don't like a post personally, it doesn't mean that it might not get the attention from other end users, right? So this is something we want to keep in mind as well. All right. Any other questions? I know it's a lot of information. Again, we're gonna share this video with you, so you will actually have insights.
Hi, Viviane.
Hi, Noah.
Hello. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I have a question. Okay, normally when I use Canva, with the images that they use there, if you want to use one of their images, maybe there's a background. How do you remove the background? Let's say maybe you want only a laptop, but then you want to remove the background. How do you do that?
That's a good point. I will show you right away, and it will blow your mind because it's incredible. I was actually shocked when I saw it the first time. Let me show you. Okay, so let's go ahead here. Of course, it doesn't work with every single image because some images, for example, this one, sometimes it's going to be very hard for Canva to see the difference between the main focus, what we actually want out of the image. So let me just go ahead here. Let's try it. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, so you see here, it could be difficult for Canva, but let's see. So what Noma is talking about, you actually have the option to cut out the whole background of an image with Canva Pro, which is really cool. So you go, what you would do, you would select the image or video, image. I think video doesn't work. I'm not sure though. I have to check. You go to background remover. So it's the first option right here. And then it's gonna basically calculate and analyzes the image, and then it's gonna see, or it's gonna give us, okay, you see already, like it's not like that bad, right? Because this image was pretty complex as well, but it's not, it's pretty good, I think, still. But I wouldn't use it, okay? Because we see some here, right? We see this is not really clear. I wouldn't use it, but it's still like for what we can actually do with it is really cool. Okay, let me go here. So this will hopefully work now. So let me go here. We select the image, right? Select it, we go to effects, and we go to background remover. It's still not perfect here, but it's still like, if you see, this is not made with Photoshop. This is insane. You see how detailed they are here? Of course, here there might be some color issues, but like other than that, it's like, honestly, it's like perfect. Like it's actually incredible that they can do something like this. I'm gonna show you an example, a better example. Let me see. So again, select effect, and then you can. So this is crazy. This is like honestly insane. I feel like it's really well done. You see the hair, right? So let me just. You see how detailed they took the hair part. It's actually insane. Like I was actually shocked when I saw it the first time. So yeah, this is how you basically would do it to remove the backgrounds, especially if you have like if you have just certain, like the laptop, like you mentioned, right? Let me see if I put in laptop. You had a question?
Yeah, can we bring images in without a background ourselves from like a raw source?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
you can do that as well.
Because there's an app out now as well that basically does what you're doing. If you take a picture of something, it cuts out the background.
Mm-hmm.
So I presume obviously you could maybe use that and then obviously transfer it to a PNG or a JPEG and bring it in that way.
Yep. What do you use? What kind of app is it?
I only found it there recently. It's called Photo Room.
Okay.
Basically, you just take a picture and then I ask you, do you want to remove the background, and it removes it pretty perfectly as well.
Nice. Is it free?
Yeah, no, it's free as well. If I can get a link, I'll send it in so everyone can have a look.
Sure. Do that. More than welcome. Yeah, if it's better, you know, sometimes it gives you better quality, right? Depending on the picture, on how they optimize their website as well when it comes to background removing. So yeah, sure. So something like that, right?
Mm.
It's actually cool. Good. Yep. Any other questions?
Yes, I do have another question. So is it also the same with?
I think you muted yourself. We cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries.
No, I was saying, so is it also the same with removing the name of the owner on the image? Are we doing the same thing?
Removing the owner, you mean like watermarks? Is that what you're talking about?
No, you see when you see an image on your bottom right, I think they normally write the owner, the owner's name. So I'm not sure how to remove that.
So if there is an owner, that automatically means we are not supposed to use it, basically. Because sometimes you can use them, but you have to give them credit for it. And we don't want to do this because we don't want to promote anybody else, right? We want to promote our service and product. So if you have like a watermark, let me give you an example. That's what you don't want to do, okay? So if you have anything like that, I'm not sure if you mean something like this, but if you have like any kind of watermark like this, you don't want to use this because you have to actually pay for it before you can use it. So this you don't want to use. You don't want to use anything like this. Images with owner. Let me see if there comes something up. If this is something you mean. Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, so whatever, when there's like a name or like a watermark at some sort of image or video, you don't want to use this at all. Because we want to use images and videos which are copyright free. That's why we have those stock websites right here. I think you came a bit later, right, Noma? So we have this stock websites here. I put it again in the chat, where you can find images without any copyright, without any owner names, without any watermarks. So you can actually find it here. Good. Any other questions? How are the teams working together? Everything fine? Is everybody participating? I see lots of activity. I love that. Good. Chirag, you're so quiet today. What's happening?
Sorry about that. I was just wondering, like, when should I start? So my question was, because Paul told them that they, like, will be having a particular project based on the region we are allocated with, like we are allocated for Netherlands. So I was just wondering, like, how's our project looking like? I mean, are we just doing the generic digital marketing advertising and all, or we are focusing on some specific audiences with some particular content, or how the campaign is looking like?
Mm-hmm. So for the first step where we are right now, where we are in, right, is content marketing. So we will basically we don't really have a specific audience to target inside like campaigns and stuff, because we're just creating them on the social media channels, right? But again, you can talk to specific kinds of audiences within your images or videos, right? So this is something you can specify on within your teams, right? And then later when we talk about strategy, like marketing strategy, and when we come to paid marketing, there's of course where you plug in all those, pretty like target audiences, which you can be focusing on. Yeah, but for content creation, it's more like, you talk within your images and videos basically to your specific audience.
Okay, thanks. Just for my understanding, I'm just repeating your words. So correct me if I'm wrong. So you're trying to establish here, like, there's no particular campaign right now. We are just going to target a market here. But in case if we want to, segment the audience and we want to target any particular territory or the persona, So we are good to go with that. Are you just trying to say this?
Sure. Yeah. So we have different kind of audiences, right, for the digital marketing, for the International Institute of Digital Marketing, right? So we are talking. Let me see. Did anybody did the research on your clients? Like, who is your actual clients? Because these are the audiences you're basically targeting. So we have, we have people who actually want to learn about those certificates, right? So this is one target we have, target audience. So we have different target audiences just within the certificates, right? So we have people who are completely new to digital marketing, right? So this is basically the basic course. Then we have people who are more advanced, and we have much more here, right? And then we have also search engine, where people want to focus on SEO more, right? SEM. So this is something, these are basically completely different targets right away, right? Different audiences. And then we have people who, let me just move, upcoming events. We have people who are entrepreneurs, right? So we have licensed certificates for entrepreneurs as well, where we actually help them to bring their business to another level. Okay, so we actually take their business as a case study, and we actually work with their business right on the spot. Okay, so this would be, again, it would be a whole different target, right? A different audience. And then we have people who want to build their own agency. Okay, so this is something else we target. So yes, you will find very different targets, target audiences inside our, basically just with the certificates, right? Yeah, so as you can see here, agencies, right? We are researching for, or we are focusing on agencies. We are searching on, focusing on individuals who want to learn those certificates, right? Who want to get certified, and also partners, right? So partners could be people who want to have like or want to be in connection with our brand, and get that training through us, basically. Do you know what I mean? So they basically take our courses and everything, but they're having their own company. It's like more like a corporate who want to. Yeah, so corporates, we have individuals who want to learn their specific certificates. We have small businesses who reach out to us to learn more, right? So there are so many different client audiences we basically have.
Okay, so you're trying to say, like, we're going to touch the entire broader market of a particular region where the team has been allocated to. Yeah, am I right?
Correct. You want to focus on your specific area.
Let me simplify my statement. I was saying, like, 6 of us have been allocated to Netherlands. So our objective is to just advertise ourselves in the Netherlands region for entire digital marketing, what we are doing in our institute. And be it could be, startup, SME, or a corporate, or an entrepreneur, or someone who is looking to learn, like a student or someone. It could be a like beginner, intermediate, or expert, or based on like the skill set or the expertise the person possesses. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to establish a brand within the location where you basically assign to. Yes. Because we don't, for example, in Netherlands, we have some clients which, like internationally, for example, from Amsterdam, right? They're coming, and we have clients from Amsterdam within the International Institute of Digital Marketing, but we want to actually establish a brand there. We want to establish our name there, right? Because like the percentage of people who see us and actually get in contact to us in Texas, USA, right? It's like, it's not the same as if I would be having an established business in the Netherlands, which is like, first of all, a trust factor, right? Just because it's local. And yeah, I think that's basically what you are assigned to. Yes, so the location definitely matters. Again, you are not just you don't have to strictly only create content just for the Netherlands. You can create a broader or more locations, right? Europe in total, for example. But again, we want to establish a brand within this location. Yes.
And what about Ireland? I mean, has there any team been allocated for Ireland as well?
We do, not in this, not in our team, in this group right here, but we have another team who's working on Ireland. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, you're pretty much there. I mean, you know, so one last thing, I mean, sorry to bother you.
No.
The lawyers which you just highlighted on the terms of the skill set, like, you know, what the final outcome of the training is going to be. So I know, like, you know, these are all pretty much available on your Google Drive, which is a share folder, and we can just pull up from there. And based on the image what we're going to create in Canva, so we can just, you know, Control-C, Control-V the logo and can use for our post and all, right?
Come again, sorry, can you rephrase it?
Yeah, so I'm saying the logos which you have on Google Drive, like, you know, for various trainings, like, you know, for entrepreneurs, for licensed marketer, or for digital marketer and all. So those are pretty much available on your share folder there. So the post which I'm going to create, like, you know, for instance, like for week 1 or 2, I'm targeting different audience, and probably as compared to week 3 and 4. So based on my campaign, which I'm going to hit on online, so I can just pull up the logos and create my image on Canva. Is this a correct understanding?
Correct, yes. You can plug in all the certificates, you can plug in all the logos you have, and then from then on you can create your content with those.
And is that going to be a team strategy or on individual basis?
This is something definitely you want to create, like discuss with your teams, right? We have the content planner where you have different focuses within each week, right? So let me just pull this up here.
Sorry if I'm taking so long, because, you know, I just
No,
want to...
don't worry. I asked you, basically. Okay, let me give me a second here. So I'm going to 4. Okay, so let me pull this up here, for example. So we have different focuses, right, per week. So this would be basically the first week from next week starting. We have branding posts, right? So basically branding posts can be anything which represents our brand, our mission statement. It could be what we do, right? And then the third one, the second one here on the second week, I saw a group, somewhere in a group, I saw the question actually, what's the difference between the informational and educational posts? I saw it somewhere in one team. So informational posts would be more like what kind of service and products we actually provide, okay? And educational posts would be more like, what is SEO? You educate basically the end user with something. So, okay, this is the main difference between those two. I don't know who had the question, but I saw it somewhere. So yeah, so with every focus, you basically want to discuss with your team, okay, of course, for example, if you go with informational post, you don't want to focus on just one product the whole week through, right? So you want to definitely have this discussion with your team, because it doesn't make sense to everybody targets the same audience, and then we just have like a very narrow audience we're targeting, right? And we're just speaking to one single audience, so we want to make sure it's like more diversified as well.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that sums up. I mean, beautiful. Thank you very much for your time and really appreciate it, Viviane.
No problem. Thank you. I see one question here. Do we have to create all our content in English, thinking that my team is for all Europe? If you speak the language where you're located in, go ahead, right? If you speak Dutch, for example, Chirac, if you speak Dutch, you can go ahead and actually create also content in Dutch.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay. I saw, I think.
Unfortunately, not how I learned that.
I speak a little, actually.
Oh, okay. That's
well, I live like 500 meters from the Netherlands. Like before, when I was living in Germany, I was living like 500 meters from the Netherlands. So it's like pretty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just learned like, you know, just a couple of words in Irish. That's it.
Okay. That's hard, eh? I don't know. I have to get used to it. Where is he? Sve. Yeah, okay. But we have a team in France, for example, right? Or Turkey. So if you speak Turkish, if you speak French, go ahead, right? I don't mind it. But again, like main focus will be English. In all Europe, mostly they speak English. It's taught there, so you should be good. Yeah. I think Lee has another question. No? Okay. Good. Does anybody else have another question? Okay, let me go over here again. So so branding post, right? Branding post is all about our brand, our mission, what we want to accomplish, right? Informational post will be products and services we have. Educational post is you educating the end user. This could be in form of our YouTube videos. You could just plug in one of our YouTube videos. This would be counted as a post, okay? Blogs, educational blogs, it could be just you saying this is SEO, this is SEM, that's the difference, right? It could be something like this. Branding posts we had, mixed posts could be anything. You could be very, there you have basically your freedom, your basically choice of what you're choosing. Then we have video posts where we want to exactly like just post video posts. It could be anything too, right? You could educate them in our product. It could be just a branding video post, anything, okay? But it has to be a video. Inspirational posts, interactive posts. Interactive posts could be like, click the like button, you know, or click the like button or the heart if you this and this, right? So you just give them basically a task or exercise, not exercise, but like a task to do, to click on, something engaging. Then informational posts, again, products and services, country specific. Okay, this could be, for example, if there's a holiday coming up in the Netherlands or Turkey, you could of course do this, right? Or just a flag, something like this, right? Educational posts, again, you educate the person, the end user. Branding video posts, so this is just a video where you just talk about our mission, our branding, what we do, what we stand for. And then creative posts can be very creative. This could be anything, basically. This could be just a post of someone holding the phone and, you know, scrolling down, up and down, or something like this. So you can be very creative with those creative posts as well. Okay. We actually created a video, me and Paul and me, we created a video where we actually go over all of those different posts. This will be actually posted today, and I will send it to your group as well, so it's more clear for everybody. Okay. Any other questions?
Sorry, you spoke about the posting in English. When Paul spoke to our group, he said that we should like post in French and use Google Translator. I just want to confirm what we should do, because you saying we should rather post in English if we don't know for sure, and then Paul's saying post in French. So I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this up. Okay, let me talk to Paul again, because that's what we usually do. Usually we create in English, but he probably meant to say, that if you know, you can create in French too. But let me just double check with him. Maybe he hears us as well now. But yeah, let me double check with him. I will definitely give you an update on this. But usually, you know, English or French, like English should be fine too. Like honest, yeah. But let me double check this. Yeah, thank you for bringing this up. Because you know, when you create, like it makes sense for me if you create, you know, captions in French and just translate them. It doesn't sound right all the time, right? It doesn't sound like a native speaker. So I wouldn't, you know, of course, if they're just like single words, you could, but again, yeah, but I will discuss this again. Thank you.
I think also it creates a bit of expectation as well. If you're posting in French, then people might assume that the courses are also in French, so then it might create some confusion. Yeah, we have French trainers, but you know, you never know if they are available at this certain time. So yeah, I agree with this, of course. Yeah.
All right. I think you're all good to go. So our next session is on Wednesday, correct? Yeah. Okay, so Wednesday. So yes, get started on Canva, get familiar with the platform, especially if you have, let me just see here. Abel, I asked the same questions to him last week, and he said that since you should maintain the posting in English as well. Oh, I see. Okay. So, okay, I will still double check with him. Thank you, Abel, though. Appreciate it. Nirja, do you have a question?
Hi, yeah, actually, it's a long question, so I can type it. I just wanted to ask you regarding the registration on the website that Paul had mentioned in the first session. So are we supposed to do it now or maybe later?
You should start creating it now, yes, if you could.
Because I was a little confused choosing with the options there as to, they have asked like which certification or what are we supposed to choose? I'm not sure.
Did you see the SOP, the document created for it?
No, I just went to the link that you shared with us, and there, like, they ask you for the details, and they've asked like which. I think there's something called as trainer, certified trainer, or some option.
Yeah.
So am I supposed to choose that?
Yeah, so I'm gonna share with you guys this document where actually it's very detailed explained what you want to choose and what you put in. So you can go with this. Okay, it's a step-by-step basically explanation on how to do that. Sounds good?
Okay.
If you have questions, of course, after
Thank
that
you.
you can come. Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to mention something I forgot now. So yes, so get familiar with Canva. Okay, so if you are familiar already, start creating your content as well. So everybody has to start creating their content this week. Please share it to your teams for feedback. Okay, don't message us personally. We will always chime in the teams as well. Okay, because we have lots of students. I think we have over 200 interns right now, and if everybody is messaging personally, it's getting a lot. Okay, so keep it within the teams. I'm always checking on the teams. I'm always checking if you can always tag me in the teams as well, so I can see it and I can help you out for feedback and stuff. And if you have general questions as well. So post your content in the team, get some feedback there, work together as a team, and then start scheduling. From next week on, Monday, we are starting scheduling. So here, for example, Team Turkey, I see Abel is Monday, right? Lindy on Tuesdays, and so on. Okay, so keep it within your teams. Make sure you have your content planner ready. And yes, happy posting, I would say. If you have questions, of course, go ahead. Oh, Paul, hi.
Hey. I've heard my name. I was actually on 3 Zoom calls in parallel. So I saw the chat as well. So basically, folks, I don't know, Viviane, I would actually share one of the headliner that you created in German, right? Maybe you can just play that. So basically, we want to give opportunity for people to be creative, most of the posts will be in English, and if you want to be creative, if you want to create, as a Team Turkey, right? If you want to create something in Turkish, why not? I actually talk to my customers online through our live chat system. I literally use Google Translate, right? Whatever the question that I copy that and paste it in Google, and I respond to them in Spanish. So you can be creative, One suggestion I would give in terms of content creation, because this is the most common mistakes that you're seeing, people are putting like paragraphs worth of information on the post, on the images, right? So too much text on the post is never good, because the span of attention that people have is like, while scrolling through, most of the people use phones these days. Like go through scroll, your social media posts, you want to make the user to just stop. It's like, you want to make the user to actually just stop and, just look at your post because it stands out, right? That's what makes the difference, Again, it's not like I said, right? If I can do the images using Canva, anybody can do it. Super easy. Right? Limited text, have the focus on the logo, focus on your message, super. There is a team that's working right now. There's a Brazil team, follow their page, follow even our page too, like IIDM US, the main one. Viviane is actually creating posts for that. Our team is doing that. So you can actually follow us, you can follow our templates and such. Right? Any questions for me in particular?
So for the Canva sign-ins, I will share them with the teams.
Yep. So you all have Canva like a shared login. Again, if you go to my designs, you will actually see the designs that was created by other teams as well. Right? You can certainly use that design, but again, try to change these things. Don't just copy it. You can certainly, use that design and try to be creative.
And respect the other teams as well. Like don't delete stuff or make a copy of the designs and then you edit something. We want to be respectful for everybody. So.
Yep.
Yeah, so just the example what Paul means.
Und herzlich willkommen. Mein Name ist Viviane und ich betreibe digitales Marketing.
So this is like one of the things you want to create at some point as well. Okay, so this is more like a podcast audio voiceover. So this is what you will create as well. And if you speak another language, we actually want you to create it with different languages. Yeah, but we will explain you everything once we are there. So I don't want to confuse you now. All right, so this is it for today. If you don't have any questions, you are free to sign off. And I'll see you all on Wednesday. I will share the Canva logins. I will share the video from today's session. And I'm going to share the video about the different